Welcome to the second session of how to develop English fluency. You see, in my last session, I discussed about 2 points that you should realize if you want to communicate English well, if you want to become a fluent English speaker. First and foremost was that you should not be conscious of your own grammatical mistake. Second point, I told you that you should not try to be conscious of your audience. You should not think them superior than you. So if you realize these 2 points, then you will be able to remove your tongue tightness. Be able to speak it out. Be able to express English fluently. So that was the foremost tip of guidance from myself, that never be conscious about your language when you are speaking. Just be conscious of the points that you want to convey. Never be conscious about your inferiority than the audience or the person in front. Think that he knows less than you. He knows a little bit less than you. So if you realize these two tips of a fluent English speaker, then you will become really a fluent English speaker. It's not the command over the language. It's not that you memorize more and more words, idiomatic phrase and all, because there will be never an end to this sort of study. You know, nowadays the Oxford Dictionary is including 200 words of different international languages. It is accepting, endorsing the words of different language. Hurricane and masala. I don't have content to convey you. I don't have masala to convey you. You know, masala has been ingrained in an Oxford Dictionary. So daily more and more words are being included in the Oxford Dictionary. So never be a stop enhancing your vocabulary. And they will never come when you are able to speak by putting that words in order. So don't wait for perfection of enhancing your vocabulary, perfection of achieving your grammatical rules, knowledge, perfection in your pronunciation, accent, because there will be never an end to this perfection. Maybe you reach 60 years, 70 years of old, but you will never come to end of learning of all these things. So today I want to tell you the third tip in this session is implementation. Whatever you have gained your English language, your basic learner, your intermediate learner or advanced learner, whatever you have gained, that is how much words you know of English language, how much grammatical rules you know, how much words you know how to pronounce properly, whatever accent you have got of speaking that English language, Indian accent or your regional vernacular accent, whatever with accent, try to speak English. Start today itself. Don't wait for perfection in your grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation and then implement. Don't wait for that perfection or completion of all that things, because there is never an end to learning. So let it be a continuous process. You learn, passively vocabulary. You learn a new word from maybe bus stand, a railway station, or from another person, from the newspaper. Somehow you will learn or enhance your vocabulary day by day. If you keep your ears and eyes open, if you have exposure to English environment, unknowingly, subconsciously, you will be learning all those things. You will be learning grammatical rules, because somewhere you think that the person is speaking in a wrong grammatical pattern. Then you ask another person, he will tell this is the pattern. You learn the grammatical rules. So it is by the atmosphere, the exposure that you will be learning all this vocabulary, your grammar, your pronunciation or accent. If you're watching a TV news channel of English, the British accent, and only you are copying that, you are imitating that accent. So have an exposure to the English environment. Don't try to keep a goal and aim, ambition to complete learning of vocabulary, pronunciation, accent, and such things. So today in this session, I want to tell you the third tip is implementation. Application of skill. That is English language speaking skill. It's a skill. Whatever skill you don't learn in a day. It requires practice. And if you start speaking, you will develop that practice. Maybe you're stuck somewhere. Maybe you don't get some word. Then you look up in the dictionary. You will ask your friend what is that word. And you will get that word. Next time when you are speaking, you never have to search that word because you know that you were stuck once in conveying that word, conveying that idea. You did not get that English word and you search it, you memorized it. It's not sitting 2 hours in a day with the dictionary and memorizing 100 words. If you go on this thing, you never complete it. So try to implement whatever you have learned, whatever you know. How many words you know, how many correct pronunciation you know. Whatever you have with you, start speaking English. Apply your English language, either in speaking or in writing. But if you want to become an English fluent speaker, then try speaking English instead of writing, because when you write, you get time to think. So this will, give you the next point, that is the fourth tip. Think in English. Now, how do you think English? Most of the time we think in our mother tongue. It says so. Or whatever the language you have learned first, whichever you are comfortable with. You think in that language. And many of the people, those who don't have a fluency in speaking, the reason is that they translate the language. They try to think in one language and try to translate the thing. When you go for translation word by word, then you make a blunder of yourself, because every language has got a different pattern. The mango is there. Now, is there? No, this is because of your translation. There is a mango. There should come front in English. So, if you go by the language translation, then most of the syntax you make a mistake, and the other person will not understand. Or those who are good English, they will come to know that your English is not good because you are translating, and some of the words you will not have in another language, so you're not able to get perfectly that word to word. So even if you translate, it should be, the idea should be translated. It's not word to word. It's not verbatim. So the fourth tip is think in English. Don't translate. Don't think in one language and try to translate the thing. Communicate directly. Whatever comes to your mind, just communicate. The gap between thinking and communication should be very less. Avoid that one language. Don't make it a second language. If you make English as your first language in communicating your thought, then you are a fluent speaker. So this is it, the fourth tip. So today, once again, in this session, I am conveying you 2 tips to become a fluent English speaker. So hope you understood it. And now let us see the chat session, the question answer session. If you have any queries, you can write it. So I told you the third tip is application. Application of your English language. Application of vocabulary. Application of your grammatical pattern that you know. Application of the pronunciation. Whatever English content, whatever English command you have, with that try to apply by speaking. Just implement your English language. Start speaking. And the fourth tip was that think in English. Make it a first language. Whenever you want to convey, don't let your mother tongue or your another language come in between. It's directly your thought and English language, expression in English. There should not be hiatus, there should not be a gap between your thought and the communication. So the first language that you're communicating of your thought should be English. Make it your first language. Don't make it your second language by going translation method. Just see the chat there. In this questions session, you are supposed to write only your query based on what I said down, what was being conducted in this live session. Yes, you can also suggest what you want from me next time in my live session. Yes. So let me write something.